Hi, folks. I haven't done this in a little while, and I want to cover today why meal planning is a game changer. If you followed me at all on any of the platforms, or maybe you're on my mailing list, you know that I am all about meal planning. And my app, Ends and Stems, will give you ideas to fill in your meal plan or basically send you recipe ideas. But I talk to a lot of people as well. Sometimes companies hire me to talk to them about meal planning who maybe don't want to use the Ends and Stems app for various reasons, or you don't like my recipes or whatever it is. But I think you can still learn why you need a meal plan. So I'm going to try to convince you. I have three. Okay, I have three reasons, but I have a secret fourth. So that's why my hand gave me away. I'm going to give you four reasons why having a meal plan, especially on a weeknight or a busy night, is really, really a game changer to getting dinner on the table with less stress and just kind of less effort. I will also cover the most common reason that I hear from people and why they hate meal planning, why it doesn't work for them, why they bail on it, and I'm going to tell you what to do instead. I will tell you the very first thing you need to change about the way that you're meal planning, or maybe add to what you're doing, or if you're not even meal planning at all and my reasons convince you to write meal plans, I'm going to give you the first most important thing that you need to add to your meal planning process. And then finally, because I talk to many, many people who are struggling to feed their kids as well. It's not struggle, maybe struggle's the wrong word, just exhausted by feeding your kids. I feel that too sometimes. So I will tell you how to inspire your kids to help you meal plan. I put my money where my mouth is and have been testing my own kids to see if these methods are working. And true story, last night at dinner, my son did not like the meal, and he's 4.5, almost, not even. And he said, I want mac and cheese. When can I help you make the meal plan? And I'm actually going to the grocery store today after I make this video. And at dinner last night, he helped make the meal plan. Okay? So, leave a comment below, or you can reach out to me on any of the platforms if you have specific questions, or if I missed anything and you want to add to the conversation. So let me know. Okay, so let's get this started. Three reasons, three reasons plus a bonus fourth reason why having a meal plan is a game changer. Okay, number one is the mental load. You might have seen articles about this. I love reading articles about the mental load. It's the invisible labor. Very often, one person in your household feels like they're doing more of this invisible work to keep everything running, and other people are not contributing, or because it's invisible, it's harder to talk about these things. So the mental load, the mental labor is great to chip away at, and having a meal plan is one of the easiest ways to make dinner no longer be invisible labor. When somebody's standing in the kitchen cooking or doing the dishes, that's not invisible. Everybody can see it, hear it, smell it, witness it happening. So we know that this work is happening. But the meal planning, deciding what to buy at the grocery store, deciding what to cook, what we're in the mood for, that's all the invisible labor. And it just really weighs on us. So every time you don't have a meal plan, you have, I kind of think of it like a parrot on your shoulder who is constantly following you around going, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? And sometimes you may shoo that parrot away and you've stamped it down and you're not thinking about it. But let's say this is happening on your morning commute or while you're bringing the kids into school. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? Shh, you quiet it down. Stop. I'm not thinking about that now. It's the morning. I have plenty of time to think about what's for dinner. But then what happens is whatever your 10 a.m. activity is, all of a sudden the parrot's back. What's for dinner? We haven't decided what's in the fridge. What's for dinner? And you shush him again. Stop. I don't want to think about that now. And then you're on your lunch break and you're getting your lunch ready and you open the fridge and you think, oh man, I never decided what's for dinner. What do we have in here? Oh, it looks like maybe some broccoli, maybe we can do that. But you know what? I'm not going to think about that now. I have a big meeting coming up. So then you go and do something else. So you're constantly battling this what's for dinner on your shoulder, and you never make that decision. So it's just this low-lying, behind the scenes, subconscious thing you're going to have to face. Unlike so many other decisions at different points in your life, you might be able to put off other decisions for days or sometimes even weeks or months or years. But the what's for dinner decision, especially if you are a parent or a partner or in charge of feeding somebody else, you will have to make that decision every single day. So the longer you don't decide what's for dinner, the more invisible mental labor you have just from hearing that question. When you write a meal plan, you take this parrot off your shoulder once and for all, you write it down, and you don't have that underlying static of what's for dinner chasing you around everywhere you go. You still have to deal with cooking dinner. You have to deal in the moment of sitting down to decide, but it's like decide once and be done with it, and it's really, really freeing. That is my favorite reason that you should have a meal plan, so you don't have to think about what's for dinner. When I was starting Ends and Stems, like 2017, I interviewed about 1,500 people. And when I asked to rank the most frustrating parts of getting dinner on the table every night, deciding what's for dinner was either the first or second most frustrating thing out of a list of like 10 things in over 83% of people I interviewed. And I know all these years later, people are still struggling with what's for dinner. By making a meal plan, you can actually put that question aside. So if you truly want to put that question aside, keep listening. Let's meal plan. Let's do this. If you just want to complain about it, I can't help you. That's your thing to complain about. I get it. I have things like that too. Okay, so number 2 reason is picky eating. I feel like increasingly, as I've been trying to talk to parents about recipes and meal planning, it seems like on an uptick over the last couple of years. People are writing to me to say, my kid won't eat it. I make something, I sit down and eat it. Maybe they cook their recipes from Ends and Stems, but I go to feed this to my family. I've done all the work and they won't eat it. And that's really, really frustrating. If you've done the work and then your family doesn't eat it, that's almost worse than not even doing it in the first place. My 4-year-old in particular is not a great eater. He really struggles to try new foods, so I deal with it too, even though I'm following some of these methods. I know that he will grow up to be a good eater because I know we're putting in, the work now. We're doing the groundwork to set him up to have a good relationship with food. I think that's the only thing you can control about picky eating. You cannot, unfortunately, make your kid eat something, but you can just set them up with the tools that they need so that they learn to try new foods and they do it in an environment that isn't like filled with pressure or disappointment or bribes or anything like that. Anyway, this is not about picky eating. I'm going to do another video later about picky eating. But today I want to say writing a meal plan, if you have a picky eater, is a game changer. Because when you sit down and plan what your meals are for the week, if you know you have a kid who struggles to try new foods or just won't eat whatever you put in front of them, writing a meal plan is the best time to consider what will you feed them? How will you set them up for success at any particular meal that you're going to have during the week? But if you try to decide that in the moment of feeding your family, it's just too much, especially after a long day. And whether you work outside or not, outside the home or not, at the end of the day is like the most stressful time to be thinking about what you're going to feed your kid. They need to be part of that plan. So the number 3 reason that you need a meal plan is for faster grocery shopping and putting food away. If you are buying random things because you don't know what you're going to cook for the week, your grocery trips will take longer. Even just ordering online, your groceries will take longer. And then the bonus 4th reason is, if you're following my page, you probably know it. It's reducing food waste. So when you have a plan, and this goes with number 3, when you have a plan, you write your grocery list from that plan. You reduce food waste because you buy less. It's the best way to reduce food waste is just not to buy so much in the first place. But if you don't have a tight meal plan that you know you're going to be able to follow through the week, you end up buying a bunch of random things that you don't need. And then you come home and you're like, oh, I already had that. Why did I buy that? So multiply that process times however many things you over purchased, and you're wasting that money and also that time. Every additional item that you either buy in person in the grocery store or type into your online ordering app takes time. And then each of those items also need to be put away and organized in your shelf. So you can easily save 10 or 15 minutes at the grocery store or ordering groceries online, and then another 10 or 15 minutes putting those things away when you get home, depending on, how fast you are and what your processes look like. So top 4 reasons, let me know if I've convinced you. Top 4 reasons why having a meal plan is a game changer for weekly dinners: reducing the mental load of constantly thinking about what's for dinner, having a contingency plan for picky eaters and some confidence that you're setting your kids up for success to try new foods, faster grocery shopping and faster putting food away so you save time, and bonus number 4, reducing food waste. Those are 4 very good reasons, but I can hear you saying, I know, I hear you, but I don't like meal planning, right? Why don't you like meal planning? Well, the number 1 reason I hear that people don't like meal planning is because they can't stick to their plan. You sit down, you do the work, you write a plan, you go grocery shopping, then you come home on a Wednesday and, your day was challenging in a way that you couldn't have predicted and you bail on your meal plan. Or maybe you just don't feel like eating what you put on your meal plan and then you bail on it and it seems like the whole effort of meal planning was a waste of effort. I totally get that. So you need to have a contingency plan in place, and I'll talk about that in another video, and I actually do a lot of work around that. But the main thing that you need to know about writing a meal plan that you will stick to, this is not the time to be aspirational. Do not write an aspirational meal plan where you're like, ooh, maybe Wednesday I'm going to put in this new recipe. It's complicated, but I've been dying to cook it. I'm going to put in this recipe. Don't put it in. You know you're not going to do it. You are setting yourself up to fail rather than writing a meal plan that's setting you up for success. The other one is if you want to eat healthier, whatever that means, we could dive into that forever. I'm not a big fan, but I digress. Don't put things like, for me, I always use the example of big crunchy salads. I don't really like salads. They're fine, but if I put a salad for dinner, every time I go to cook it, I'm always like, oh, I don't really want that for dinner. And then I bail on it. So don't be aspirational in your meal planning because you will only be doing the work to set yourself up for failure. Write your meal plan in a way that sets you up for success. Write your meal plan in a way that actually reflects your life. And then when you find that you're able to actually follow your meal plan, you will see that it is not actually that hard to make a meal plan. And you'll see all these other benefits that I was talking about. But if you do keep writing a meal plan that doesn't reflect your life and you can't follow through on it, yeah, I totally get why you're feeling like writing a meal plan isn't super helpful for you. So the other big thing about meal planning is how are you going to actually do it? I literally just do it with a pencil and paper, and I write a calendar and I stick it up on my fridge or stick it up in my office where everyone can see it. I know there are tons of apps and things out there that actually organize your day of the week and what's going on. You can pull in recipes. Ends and Stems sends out weekly recipes and gives you ideas, but you still have to take those and put them on a calendar in order to make them actually a meal plan. So just be wary of whatever sort of app or system you're deciding to use to write your meal plan. Make sure that it's simple and quick and isn't taking too long. I have a whole course coming up soon that will teach you to meal plan with only 15 minutes of effort, because you should not have to sit down and do 90 minutes of work to write your meal plan, because you will never keep up with that. A meal plan should be a tool to make your life easier and faster, not to make another chore on your list. I don't want any more invisible labor. We want to kind of get that off your plate. Okay, so the first thing you should change about whatever system you're using currently, or if you're just starting out in writing a meal plan, maybe I've convinced you. The first thing that you should do is consider cooking fewer recipes. So a meal plan, in my definition, does not mean I'm going to cook 7 or even 6 recipes per week. That is probably too many. Again, talking to thousands of people over many years about this, I think 3 recipes is the sweet spot for the whole week. only 3 recipes. Don't, again, this is being aspirational, right? Don't put too many brand new recipes on your meal plan, because you're going to bail on it. You're not going to be able to keep up with that. So the number one thing I think you should add to or change about your current meal planning process is to cook fewer recipes and consider leftovers and takeout part of your meal plan. On your weekly calendar, when you write out what you're having each night, leftovers and takeout should count as part of your plan. So if you have 3 recipes, maybe one of those is good to double up. So that's 2 days. Then you have a second recipe. Then you have a third recipe. That's 4 days. Then maybe you have takeout for a 5th day, possibly leftovers from takeout. I'm a really big fan of doubling the takeout and having leftovers. And then the 7th day can be something that's super simple, not a recipe. Maybe it's grilled cheese, maybe it's quesadillas, maybe it's scrambled eggs, maybe it's pasta with jarred marinara sauce. Something that's not really a recipe, but like you're still getting food together. So that's it. If you were cooking 7 times, you're going to be buying way too many ingredients. You're going to be just doing too much work, and you probably won't be able to keep it up. The meal plan isn't going to help you with that. Okay? So the last thing is, for my families out there, if you are working with kids, whether or not your kid's a picky eater, it's great to have them participate. This is such a good, whatever your stance is on chores or how kids participate or whatever they do. But this, don't even think about this as like a chore for them or something that you're assigning to them. This is again about your mental labor. Like, you deserve to have an easier time in the evenings and thinking about family meals too. Everybody should participate in what you're eating. So whether it's your partner or you live with your in-laws or you have kids, picky or amazing eaters, everybody can contribute ideas to the meal plan. So it's my favorite time to talk about what we're going to have in the upcoming week is either at like a leisurely breakfast over the weekend or at dinner another night during the week. Pick a night when everybody's like in a good mood, everybody's present and able to talk. Don't do it on one of those nights that's just like struggle bus the whole night. And then ask everybody, hey, what are you feeling? What did you see this week? What'd your friend have? What'd you see on TV? What did you see on your blogs or in your newsletters? What is everybody in the mood for this week? And then take their ideas seriously. So, my son, my 4-year-old says he wants mac and cheese. Okay, buddy, like we'll factor in mac and cheese. So I can throw it back at him and say, what makes mac and cheese into a complete dinner? And then we can kind of figure out which vegetables and what other things we want to add to the plate. So get everybody to help you in making your meal plan as well. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Have I convinced you to write a meal plan? Those 4 reasons, again, that having a meal plan is game changing. Number 1, you quiet the parrot on your shoulder. It reduces the mental load. You decide once, and then you don't have to live your whole life thinking, what is for dinner tonight? You decide, you write it down, you move on. Number 2, if you have anybody with special diets or kids who are picky eaters, having a meal plan will help you make sure that you can still execute one dinner for the whole family because you have a moment to like think it through and set their plates up for success. Number 3, having a meal plan will help you grocery shop faster, whether that's in person or online, and it will help you put food away faster because you won't be bringing home food that you already have or food that you aren't going to end up eating this week. And that relates to bonus reason number 4. It's my favorite reason. Having a meal plan will help you reduce your food waste because you purchase fewer things, you bring less into your house, and you're purchasing things intentionally so you aren't going to end up wasting food. Okay? So let me know, again, in the comments. I'd love to know if I've convinced you to meal plan, or also here's a question. What are your other struggles that I didn't touch on with meal planning? What's stopping you from doing it? Or when you do bother to sit down and write a meal plan, why is it hard to keep up? And I will be happy to answer those either in the comments or you can send me an email as well. Have a great day.